Dr. Eric, the fitness physician here, and the human body has a lot of different hormones which are responsible for all sorts of different bodily processes. One of the most popular of these hormones is cortisol. It's a little bit famous and infamous, but why is that? Well, cortisol has a huge impact on your health and fitness goals. Have you ever heard of the fight or flight response? Yeah, that's cortisol. It plays a role in determining your fight or flight instincts. Believe it or not, all of this impacts how your body responds to both diet and exercise. So, an imbalance of cortisol can have a significant impact on your health goals. Cortisol defined, so what is it? Cortisol is a steroid hormone that is produced by the adrenal glands, and its main job is to manage the body's stress response. So that's why you often hear people refer to cortisol as the stress hormone, right? On top of that, cortisol is also a glucocorticoid hormone. So it just means that it also can be helpful for suppressing or controlling the inflammation response throughout the body. So what function does cortisol perform? Hormones, as you know, are chemicals that carry messages to and from different organs, muscles, and tissues. They essentially help the brain and the body communicate and regulate different physiological processes. And they do this by stimulating different cells and tissues in the body. They can raise or lower different effects, right? They're signaling molecules. Cortisol's specific chemical responsibilities play a part in metabolism, immune response, and stress. We're talking about some pretty intense jobs as they relate to your health. And in terms of metabolism, cortisol helps manage blood sugar levels. It also directly stimulates your metabolism. Both directly impact your body's energy and appetite. It's like when you're stressed out, cortisol is the main hormone being released, causing your fight or flight response to trigger. And a few of the other functions of cortisol can include controlling electrolyte balances like salt and potassium, magnesium, regulating blood pressure, regulating blood sugar, helping the body respond to stress, supports how your body uses carbohydrates, protein, and fats, reducing inflammation, and managing the sleep-wake cycle. So very important function. You cannot live without cortisol. It's very important. However, it can be too high or too low. So for example, what happens if you have too much cortisol? So a little stress here and there is expected to be normal, but what happens when the perpetual stress you are under doesn't have an expiration date? It's chronic stress. That's bad. Well, since cortisol is a steroid hormone, it directly stimulates your appetite. So excess cortisol can increase your cravings for junk food. Even worse when you have a bad night's sleep. The pleasure response you get from eating these foods kind of covers the feelings of stress, right? Excess cortisol can also decrease the progress you see in the gym. That's because cortisol is a catabolic hormone. So when it's too high, catabolism is basically when your body breaks down big things into small ones, right? So without the energy from food, catabolism will start breaking down body tissues like muscle. And this means that it can inhibit new muscle growth. High levels of cortisol can also usher in a lot of unfavorable symptoms. This can include things like low energy levels, poor mood, and a weakened immune system, right? And get colds and feel sick. There's also strong evidence linking cortisol in the accumulation of midsection belly fat, the kind we don't want. High levels of cortisol can also usher in other favorable, unfavorable symptoms, as I mentioned too, affecting your mood and just how you feel, for example. Now, on the flip side, what happens if you're too low on cortisol? Well, while you don't want your cortisol levels too high, you also don't want them to be too low either. Low cortisol levels can result in, when they're real severe, can get a condition called Addison's disease. These can include really bad symptoms such as your severe mood changes, fatigue, weight loss, and loss of appetite, very low blood pressure, and much, much more. This is usually a red flag that something's really off with your other glands, like the pituitary gland or the adrenal gland. So how can you manage your cortisol levels? So cortisol is an essential hormone that keeps the body balanced and healthy, but it can also be very tricky to manage and regulate. One thing you can do is consider your stress levels and find ways to lower your day-to-day stress. Some great ways you can reduce your overall stress and cortisol include exercising regularly, eating a well-balanced diet that's low in simple processed sugars, better sleep, relaxing hobbies, hiking, meditation, yoga, and more. So really, most stress reduction techniques can be great for helping to lower cortisol, and they're free. On top of that, there are also supplements that can naturally lower cortisol levels. My goal is to help you achieve your goals, and if we can ever help that, more than happy about doing so. So if you have questions about lowering your stress, losing weight, building muscle, or balancing your hormones for optimal health, well, contact me for more information. Contact us about our Primax hormone optimization programs. To schedule initial consultation, contact us or reach out to me today, 740-777-9717, or email me directly at eric@drericfate.com. Be sure to visit my website, drericprimax.com, or drericprimax.com or primaxweightloss.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and visit our social media pages for more great content, products, and services. Thank you.